Hey, I'm Disc, and I recently had the honor of winning the ca.mp3 beat battle, and I wanted to do a little beat breakdown for you. But before we get started, I want to thank Jack, Lily, Christian, Adam Audio, Focusrite, all the sponsors, everyone who came out. It was such an awesome event, and it would not have been what it was without y'all. So I really can't express my gratitude enough. I'm so hyped on my new TV8s. I've had them in my space, and I can already tell it's making a crazy difference for me. So let's get into it. Okay, so for this beat battle, we had a Jack Vanoy sample and a little more than an hour to work on it. And the sample sounded like this. Nice. And I'll just talk a little about my philosophy for this beat. I really wanted to make something that was kind of flashy. I wanted to make it hard, and I really wanted to focus on the sample. And so to do that, I turned that sample into a lead, and I started by pitching everything up 4 semitones, and then I chopped little bits of it up, and this first phrase I stretched a little and dropped that down to +2 semitones. And I grabbed this little chop here, which is it's like the second beat or so of the sample, and reversed it to kind of fill up this gap that was in the original sample. And so that ended up sounding like this. And so that those reversed chops were really critical to getting this to work. And I put the BPM up to 154. Like 130 to 160 is really like the, oh, this bangs tempos. So that's my thinking there. Let's move on to the drums. For the drums, I used my favorite Monty kit. And without any effects on, it sounds like this. Oh yeah. And with the effects on, I used drum bus, glue compressor, frequency shifter, and EQ8. Come on. And shout out Joe Baldridge for talking about putting boosts in key. That's what I was doing here. And one of the way I made this, it's a big philosophy of mine to, like, I'll start making the groove on the grid like this. But then usually I'll nudge the hi-hats back and the snares left, and the kick just stays on, so it makes it really easy to edit down the road, because usually the kick is what you're going to have to edit the most. So with those changes, it sounded like this. I fuck with that break heavily, so that with the sample sounds like this. Come on. Once the drums were done, it was time to move on to the bass, and all the sounds in here except for the drums, the sample, and a couple of extra vocal stuff I did, everything was just DI guitar. I had my interface there with me and my guitar, as well as a little 57 to record vocals. So I started with the bass, right, of the guitar stuff, and this is what that sounded like, just not pitched down and without any effects. And I think there's a big kind of feeling in the guitar/producer community that you need a real bass to play bass, and the truth is you don't. You can make good sounds with guitar pitched down. I think it's something I've heard a lot of people say, that they feel like they can't make bass lines until they have a bass, but it's not true. And so I was putting this through one of my bass presets, which is just a compressor, a little amp modeler, and some multiband dynamics, and I also added a pedal on top to get this distorted tone. And so once that was done, we were sitting with this. And it's a fucking vibe off the rip. I love it. So we've got after that, I was thinking that I need to do some more like harmony, and so I came up with this guitar part first that I ended up pitching down and running through sketch cassette and grain delay, but without those things, it sounds like this. And then with those things, we'll go ahead and pitch them up and have the sketch cassette and grain delay going. Kind of gives it that texture. I was really going for like the worn, cheap Type 2 gives it a little bit of a brightness to it. And I was also using the compressor in here as well as some flutter. It gives it this tone. So sparkly. I'm a big sparkle guy. And then after that, I wanted to add some more harmony, so I added more guitars that would be more kind of drawn out and less kind of rhythmic. And those, let's see, let's take these effects off. Just straight into the box, they sounded like this. And I had some delay and chorus on my pedal board as well. And then we'll put those effects back in here. Boom, boom, boom. Boom. Sounds like this. And I really took out a ton of those low mid frequencies because I really just wanted to give it a little bit of ambient kind of brightness. And so that all together gives us like the main loop that I was working with, like my sort of A section. Sounds like this. That's funny. And so after that, I added these vocal effects, and what those are just me talking in my mic, doing some like Timbaland style stuff. It sounds like this. Let's see. Cool. And pitched up, then it sounds like this. Which is hilarious sounding by itself, but once you add in the drums, it gives it a little more bounce and really kind of makes it more of a textured break. And then at that point, I recorded this little yeah, which sounds like this.
Yeah.
But I pitched it up 5 semitones and added some echo and grain delay.
Yeah.
Made it sound like that. And so this is like sort of those destinations I was talking about, or that scenery, and like going through this A section, like giving it this little break in the middle, kind of it gives you more of a plot to your beat. So that's good stuff. And then I wanted that to go through 2 times, but the second time through, I wanted to give it a little something else. And so I recorded just a little lead that sounded like this without any effects. And then I added pedal, cabinet, and grain delay to make it distorted. Give it that lead tone. And altogether it sounds like this. And then once that was done, I was ready to make the intro because I knew where I wanted to end up. So then I knew how to start. So I combined that chop and pitched it up 12 to get the sound. And we've got a sketch cassette, grain delay, and echo. And on sketch cassette, let's see what we got. I'm working with these dropouts I really like, as well as the wear and the compressor as well with Flutter and Wow. Big cassette guy. So that sounds like this. I think this really does a good job of signaling something crazy is about to go down. And so I wanted to give that a little bit more space, so I added a pad just with operator and some grain delay that I ended up just modulating with my mouse and recording that automation. And that's one of my favorite things to do. You can make things sound like really live and like play things like they're an instrument, but just with your mouse, which is fun. And I've got one of my little presets called pad verb. It's just like a long reverb with some EQ. And so that pad sounds like this. Spooky. And with the sample in there too, it sounds like this. And then also I bring in the hi-hat here, and I wanted to bring in like the kick and the snare at the end here, but I thought it would be like a pretty standard answer for me to go boom boom ch. So I just went boom boom and took the snare out too. And so with all that there, the intro sounds like this. And there we go. I'll talk now about how I did my transitions, which are just with a delay, 100% wet on typically no feedback, but where we're at, it's automated, so usually I keep it right here, but I'll show you what happens. Let's see. Hello, here we go. Right here you can see that modulation for the time, and here's the feedback, and basically what modulating a delay is just pitch shifting. That's what pitch shifting is modulated delays. So that gives us the sound. Hard. And so that's been a big thing I've been liking doing. And then once that was done, I was ready to make a B section, which since we had all these like sparkly things and like harmonic content in that A section, I thought the B section could really just ride out with like the drums and the bass and the sample as well. And looks like we had some guitar in there too. Nice. And so I modulated the frequency here to give the drums a bit of a different tone. So it sounds like this in the A section, and you'll hear the switch. Just a little subtle difference there, but these little changes can really get you a long way when they all add up. And so we've got the bass going and the guitar, and then during this section I really wanted to focus on the sample again. And so to do that, I just modulated the grain delay I had on there and that sounded really cool to me. And the B section sounds like this. Come on, it's crazy. So this transition right here, I just cut everything and put in a little fill. I think it's like a free cymatics loop. You can you can do a lot of stuff with free things. That fill just sounds like this with a little overdrive on it. And then I add a cymbal for this last chorus to make it a little bit bigger than the first one. I think you don't need those impacts as much the first time because everything's so new. But in my opinion, it makes the second one feel different, you know. And it's basically just the exact same thing the second time through, but on the second half, I start going really nuts on this delay modulation. So this is what that second bit sounds like. And that's the beat. I'll let the whole thing play right now. I just want to say again, thank you so much to Adam Audio, to Jack, to everybody I got to meet. It was such a great experience. See you on the flip.